Phillips and Matasauranu pull into the Bank of America's north parking lot. While waiting for the bank to open, they both swallow the barbiturate phenobarbital, a muscle relaxant. 9 a.m. Bank of America is open for business. (9:17 a.m.) Officers Lauren Farrell and Martin Perillo just happened to be cruising by. They witness two masked men entering the bank. It's a rare but fortuitous moment. They call for backup.
Requesting assistance. We have a possible 211 in progress at the Bank of America. Located north of Kendrick. We have shots fired.
Larry Phillips and Emil Matasauranu storm into the bank. Armed with fully automatic AK-47s, they fire numerous rounds at the ceiling and order everyone to the floor.
Definitely a takeover technique, but unlike anything that I'd ever seen. This particular branch had what we call bandit barriers in it, which are glass partitions that go from the counters to the ceilings. With their high-powered weaponry, they were able to shoot open the lock that gained access back there.
Phillips forces the bank manager into the vault to fill their money bag.
We're responding code 3.
Officially 39 is responding code 3.
When he sees only small denomination bills, he releases a burst of automatic fire.
All units, officer needs help. Lower County, north of Kittredge, no shots fired.
Larry became immediately enraged and yelled out, "Where's the money? Where's the rest of the money? I know you have more money in this bank." And they didn't, because he altered the delivery schedule.
Undaunted, Phillips heads to the bank's ATM machine for more cash.
They tried to get the branch manager to open that ATM. Policies had been changed and the branch manager no longer had access to the ATM cash.
This robbery is far from routine. It will become nothing short of a full-scale military battle.
With 3 suspects inside, possible AK-47s and wearing ski masks and dark clothing.
9:25 a.m. North Hollywood, California. Two gun-toting maniacs, Larry Phillips and Emil Matasauranu, are violently seizing cash at a Bank of America branch. They're wielding AK-47s, among the deadliest of assault rifles. Outside, Los Angeles police officers from the North Hollywood and surrounding divisions arrive. They set up roadblocks and move civilians out of a potential strike zone.
All officers were securing the perimeter and attempting to keep traffic from coming or going.
15 to 20 officers position themselves around the inner perimeter of the bank, known as the Circle of Fire. One of the officers is James Aborovan, who's been out of the police academy for only 2 months.
All the training was kicking in. I was thinking about policy and procedure, tactics. You're looking for tactical superiority. You're looking around you for structures that will provide cover if there is gunfire.
Officer Zaborovan and his training partner, Stuart Guy, find cover behind a locksmith kiosk located across the street from the bank. They hunker down alongside detectives Tracy Angeles and John Krulak.
Because we were one of the first people to arrive on the location, they were asking for someone to cover the front of the bank, which we elected to do. We thought we had a couple of guys in the bank with nothing but handguns, so we felt pretty secure being across the street behind the kiosk, which is about 50 yards from the bank.
My partner and myself had body armor. Unbeknownst to us at the time, the gunman inside had, AK-47s that our body armor does not stop.
One shots are being fired from inside the bank. I want one unit on the north side, I want a unit on the south side, and I want a unit on the back, if possible.
North Hollywood detectives and officers find cover around the back of the bank.
The strategy in all of these things is to contain the suspects at a location, control the situation, and attempt to take them into custody, whether through negotiations or their absolute surrender.
Officer Martin Whitfield, 6 years on the job. and veteran Sergeant Dean Haynes deploy themselves in the intersection closest to the bank's north door.
1342 is requesting a unit to safely position themselves in front of the front door.
9:25 a.m. After approximately 8 minutes, the gunmen abandoned the heist with a little over $300,000. They had expected to clear over $750,000, like they had in the previous robberies. Larry Phillips emerges from the bank's north door. Emil Matasauranu exits from the south door. Wearing combat fatigues and clutching AK-47s, they look ready for battle. Phillips eyes police blocking the northwest intersection of Laurel Canyon and Archwood.
I believe Phillips was surprised. He wasn't scared. He saw a police car in the intersection at Laurel Canyon and Archwood. It was Sergeant Dean Haynes and a few civilians. Phillips raised his AK-47 and began firing at the police car.
Bullets penetrate Sergeant Dean Haynes' vehicle, causing it to violently shake. Fluids pour out everywhere.
I don't think they were skilled at firing. They were more or less spray and pray, as they say, shoot at anything that moved, and that's what they were trying to do.
Stay down, rapid automatic fire. They're panning the area with fire.
Armor-piercing bullets continue to rip into Sergeant Haynes' black and white. One bullet strikes a male civilian in the chest. A woman suffers an ankle wound. Suddenly, Sergeant Haynes is hit in the left shoulder. Matasauranu sprays fire in all directions. At the same time, Phillips targets the locksmith kiosk directly across the street from the bank. There, detectives John Krulak and Tracy Angelis, along with officers James Zaborovan and Stuart Guy, fire at Phillips, then quickly take cover. When Phillips turns his back, rookie James Zaborovan raises his 12-gauge shotgun and fires.
9 of my shotgun pellets hit Phillips.
Phillips spins around. He unloads on the kiosk.
They opened up on us with a 30-round burst.
I immediately dived behind the key shack and had remembered that the detectives weren't wearing any body armor, and I crawled up on top of them to help shield them. Moments later, 2 of those bullets actually struck me.
2 armor-piercing rounds rip into Zaborovan's lower back and buttocks.
It was like I was on fire. It was a very intense burning sensation.
Tanya Bellard is one of 6 police dispatchers handling the barrage of frantic calls.
The hardest part of that was for me was when they kept saying, one officer is down here, one officer is down there. You think, okay, there's one officer, but they kept saying different places. And finally I said, you know, does anyone know how many officers are down?
Any unit know how many officers are down? We have one.
And this guy who was shot, James Zaborovan, he screams, more than one, more than one. I was like, oh my God, they're just dead everywhere.
Phillips runs out of ammo and reloads. Working on sheer adrenaline, wounded Officer Zaborovan and the others attempt to find better cover.
Phillips, he would take turns shooting from car to car. And what we would do, we would run from car to car. And those rounds were coming in one door, out the other. We were being hit by pieces of the car, the glass, and besides being wounded by bullets, we were actually cut and wounded by pieces of the car and asphalt as well.
Detective Krulak receives a gunshot wound in the right ankle.
At first, it felt like somebody just took and hit me in the ankle with a hammer. And with your adrenaline flowing, you're not really thinking about the pain.
Both gunmen continue to spray the perimeter of the bank with deadly fire.
It was actually the loudest weapon fired I've ever heard.
You not only heard it, you felt it. If you've ever been around a jackhammer, you can actually feel the concussion against your chest, and already 150 feet away we could smell it.
Suspect Larry Phillips appears robotic. He's not going down after being shot numerous times.
I knew we were outgunned because we don't have automatic weapons.
The LA police officers try to apply lethal force, but their handguns and shotguns don't have the range or the ability to penetrate the suspect's body armor. The department had lobbied for patrol rifles, but the request was denied. Now they're outgunned in a war zone.
Shots are still being fired to the rear of the bank.
The tide of the firefight has quickly gone hardcore and lethal. The cops need the heavy guns. They need SWAT.